Ben Christianson, a family man, lives in the suburbs, has a very successful man financially, very concerned with pursuing the American dream, and I think someone who presents an image that is very successful, very loving father, and I think he's a bit like a walking Ford commercial. It looks very good from the outside, but what his interior spaces are a little darker and a little more conflicted, and his life certainly is very conflicted. This is a man who lives in denial and guilt, and is probably not the most forward-thinking man in the world, and kind of what's in front of him is what he deals with, and can't really get too far ahead of the game because he's just struggling to keep his head above water. Ben is involved in a very unhappy marriage. Both Ben and Karen probably have been married. Well, they have a 13-year-old daughter, so they've been married for quite a while. Probably married at a very young age, and have had trouble for, I think, many years. And I think at the start of the movie, we're witnessing a marriage in collapse. Ben is having an affair with his nanny, and in defense of Ben, Karen is having an affair with the neighbor. So Karen suspects, and Ben denies, and Ben suspects, and Karen denies, I'm sure. I mean, all of this, we're witnessing a very troubled marriage, and behaviors that are associated with very troubled marriages. Ben loves his daughters, believes himself to be the world's greatest father, believes himself to be truly devoted to his daughters, and has a particular closeness with his oldest daughter, and thinks, I think in his own head, I think he thinks he's the most wonderful father that's ever existed. I mean, I think, Dr. Spock probably wouldn't view him that way, or many family psychologists probably wouldn't see him as the best father in the world, but I know that Ben thinks he's just, well, you can tell, look, my daughters love me. I mean, I'm very special to them. Ellie is Ben's firstborn, feels tremendously close to her, has a very special relationship with her, has a great need to be loved by women in general, and a particular need to be loved by his daughter, to be the hero. So that relationship and his need to become a hero, to be loved, creates dysfunction in that relationship. She's the second in line and is less affected, I think, by the dissolution of Karen and Ben's marriage. And in some ways she's left more alone, which is probably a healthier thing for her, but she becomes entwined in the dysfunction of the family, entwined in the dysfunction between Ben and Ellie, and which is an offshoot of what happened between Karen and Ben. How do you describe the indescribable, and how do you explain the unexplainable? Or unimaginable, really, with this story. This is a murder mystery, is I guess the genre of the film, but it carries into some very different realms, and it exists in an imaginary suburb called Casa del Norte, and the world of Casa del Norte is astounding. I definitely think Ben is definitely a prime candidate for Prozac sandwich, but yeah, it is this. I think the movie starts with grounded in a very firm reality, and just starts spinning into this amazing kind of tale, very unique tale. Every actor is different, but with Ben from the inside out, creating the belief in the circumstances that what would generate this amount of guilt in a human being, and what are the things that make him tick. And as a character, he's interesting to play, and as an actor playing this character, he's interesting to play, and because there's a great deal of emotionality in him. He's so riddled with guilt and anxiety and rage at his situation, and concern, and really has never, in a certain way, has never really. He's presented an image of himself and the image was what he believed he was, and who he was in his interior spaces was something different. And so, in terms of the structure of, how do you play murder mystery within the structure of this? I think you play the character from its emotion. I've been trying to play him from his emotional reality, and then through the structure of the script, because he's so guilt-ridden about the dissolution of his marriage, because his wife died, and he didn't really want her to live, and because he's never really been a father before, although he thinks he's been a great father, but he never really has. I feel like a trapeze artist, where you let go of the bar and you're soaring through the airs, and you either hope that the catcher catches you or you catch the bar coming back on the return. There is this kind of sense that you're either going to fall into an abyss, or you're gonna catch this bar and swing to the other side and have this tremendous exhilarating feeling. Well, there are reasons to think that Ben might, his life might be happier without Karen around, might be easier. I think the audience will think that because of his great love for his children, and her willingness to take them away from him, that he might be willing to do something dire like that. And he's a man that lives under tremendous pressure and he can be quite a little erratic at times, so and a little reactive. So Julia Stiles is 15 going on 45. She's the most adult teenager I've ever met in my life. She's an incredible human being, incredibly brilliant, incredibly smart, incredibly wonderful actress. It's a strange dichotomy working with somebody who is, on one level, creatively, professionally, you treat exactly as your equal, and on another level, she is 15. And we forget at times because she's so mature and so adult and so bright, so incredibly bright, and with such an insight into life that goes well beyond how old she is in life. She's an amazing young actress, and it's going to be, I think, a huge star one day. It's a tough role for a 15-year-old to get into. It requires amazing courage as an actress, amazing bravery as a human being, tremendous imagination, and some very definite abilities as an actress. Vanessa is 9 years old and is scary good as an actress. She's a lot of fun as a person. It's kind of fun to have this fresh face that's on the set and always happy to be there, and with an impish grin and kind of fun. I tease her constantly, as I do both of them. They're kind of, it's my pet project, is to make their lives miserable while I'm here on the set. Chelsea's amazing. I've known Chelsea for a while. She's a very, very solid actress, very strong person. She's incredibly, I think who she portrays in the movie and who she is in life are similar. I see her a lot in the same way. I don't hate her like I hate Karen, but Chelsea's wonderful, but she's incredibly strong and very definite as a human being, very definite as an actress, very certain of herself. She's amazing. Michael Parks is an inveterate actor, a veteran actor, probably the most exciting film technique I've ever worked with. Is somebody who's very, very interesting to work with, and you find yourself in the scenes really having to pay attention to him because he's just so, his work is very subtle but very creative and very precise. It's very interesting to work with him. Patrick and I had a couple of scenes together, and the characters don't like each other very much, so it was interesting working with that kind of dynamic with him. And as types, we're such different types, both as characters and as human beings. It was fascinating to work with him, and very creative, very, very interesting. The scenes that we did were by nature kind of disjointed, so it was kind of one of those experiences. You do the scene and you kind of go, whoa, that was weird. But he's great. Michael Steinberg is, I've been acting since I was 19 years old, the best director I've ever worked with, bar none. Incredible artist, very involved in the artistry of making movies, very creative, very inventive, very, there's so many varies that you can say about him, but just really, really creative and really just living in this, creating this whole kind of world of Casa del Norte, and he's having his actors live here with him, and here we are, you know, paddling through this kind of existence, and it's really been so rewarding. It's so special. I mean, I wish that every actor, you know, I mean, any actor who ever gets a chance to work with Michael Steinberg is truly blessed. You know. Living within the reality and the confines of this soundstage, Casa del Norte, for the last 10 days, I mean, I will say that it's been amazing in terms of, you know, it's like somebody put Alka-Seltzer in my bloodstream, because it really has been an amazing ride, and the emotionality that's involved in the part, the emotionality of the circumstances, the emotionality of working with this group of actors, with this director. Michael Steinberg is an amazing talent and an amazing human being, and has this he's like this mad scientist, and we're working on this project that it plays with you on every level. You know, you start with your imagination, and then you do what you do as an actor, and Michael has made this environment, and we're here, and it's really something. Really. Wow, I'm becoming a very strange human being doing this part. The daringness of it, that there are elements in this script that are so daring and so frightening that it's like being on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge and looking down. You know, people that have fear of heights, that become so frightened that they have to jump. And this was a role that, as an actor, because it's a lot unsettling, and very disturbing, it compels you to jump into it. You look for material that can be exciting and unique and innovative and even controversial. You know, not just controversy for controversy's, you know, sake, but, you know, I mean, how do you play a character? How do you make the unimaginable become imaginable and understandable to an audience? You know, and how do you create that emotional reality? You know, and then put it up on screen? It's just tremendous. You mean, you know, I've been acting since I was 19 years old, and trying to solve this paradox within this part is this particular movie is the most satisfying creative experience I've ever had. For those people that are roller coaster aficionados, this will push you at least to 96% of maximum, I'm sure.